gotta go back for the flesh.
I know we do.
Alright, I started it, but the stream's muted until Jeremy shows up.
What if Jeremy doesn't show up anytime soon?
Then I can unmute it.
I mean, yeah, he sees our chats and trees.
He could still be at work.
No, he's not. We were playing games.
No. Well, you know what, Andrew?
He said he was going to be on.
Maybe his Wi-Fi's out.
I don't think so. He's online.
Are you?
He says on this. I mean, am I?
Are you online, Andrew?
Are you real? Is life real? Are you all still figments of my imagination?
No, we would never be figments of your imagination.
That's what you told me on Sunday, that I'm the only one who's real.
We could all be figments of each other's imagination.
And
the only thing is that we're all. If you're real, then that means that I'm real.
Why does that mean that you're real?
Well, because by the laws of science, there's always an equal and an opposite.
Not necessarily. And why would you be my equal and opposite?
Well, through every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Or every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
How many ostriches can you fit in a dragon?
Sorry.
57.
42.
Sorry, how many walruses can you fit in a longship?
Alright, do we think Jeremy's coming?
No.
Okay.
He'll join at some point.
Yeah, he'll probably join it at some point.
He might just be in the middle of something.
Alright, let's see if the sound's working. Sound. Is the sound working?
For it, one word.
Yeah, it's working.
Is it good? Are we good?
And we're in the cave.
Are we again? God damn it.
We're in the secret base.
Are we in the tunnel?
We're not anymore.
I can't quite hear it, honestly. My end sounds kind of quiet. At least I sound quiet on my end.
Yeah, you sound quiet to me too.
Alright, it's a little bit better. Let's see. There you go. That sounds better. Red leather, red leather.
Why can't I hear John?
John's not talking.
He is. His lips are moving.
I don't see him on the news. Yeah, he's talking.
You're muted, John.
I don't know if he's muted. I think maybe his mic is on the other because he doesn't look muted. Welcome to the Villains Talk Show, everybody, with Mr. Insanieac, the C4, the Great Greeks Goblin, and Sarah Vike, and Sir Jeremy. Because
C4 is currently muted, maybe. We can't hear him. Can he hear himself? We don't know.
we're getting slowly lined up, but I wanted to get the intro going. So. Today we'll be talking about sad birthdays.
Hello?
No spoilers,
Andrew.
Go.
Hello, am I
I
back?
hear you. Yeah.
Oh my
Speaking
god.
of sad birthdays, we can hear C4.
Yeah, we can.
That's gonna make the Greek Goblin very sad.
Alright.
It is.
Alright. I just maybe screwed up a little. It's not like I don't know what I'm doing. What the fuck? You guys shut up. Whatever.
Andrew already introduced it all.
The Villains Talk Show with C4, Sarah Vike, Insanieac, Sir Jeremy, and the great Grease Goblin. Pow! There's 4 of us. What an amazing turn of technological advancement. Who knew that?
We have faces.
Who knew that we could bring you the faces of not just one host, but 4?
So,
4!
okay.
Does anyone want to see our
Fix my hair.
So,
Christmas.
why don't you all introduce yourselves then?
Hi, I'm Sir Jeremy.
Yes, we all believe that.
Hello, I am Sir Jeremy.
Obviously.
Hello, I am Sir Jeremy.
We're just a whole bunch of Sir Jeremys here.
Who else would
We are all.
You know
Sir
what?
Jeremy.
Of all of you, Grease Goblin has the best case for being Sir Jeremy because of all the swords.
Clearly, you don't see how much of the Sarah I have right here. It's
I
wonderful.
mean-
Fireplace.
Look at all the
He
swords.
does have a fireplace.
Amazing swords.
Very surly fireplace.
I have long hair. Does that make me Sir Jeremy?
Yes,
Yeah.
That absolutely
Here we go, see?
full qualifications right there.
Well,
I think that I'm the most Sir Jeremy.
we are your hosts of the Villains Talk Show.
As a matter of fact, I have these swords.
And
I do.
we are here every Sundays and Wednesdays to talk about villainy and other random topics in a very open talk show sort of way. I am C4, obviously, and now I'm visually guested by my other co-hosts. Sir Jeremy will be coming on shortly. And today's because in honor of Grease Goblin's birthday. It is his birthday in 2 hours.
Yeah,
And so
good
today's
job.
topics will be sad birthdays and holidays and work, applying for different jobs, resumes, and just working at random fucking jobs that you have no business being at, but we all do. We all do that.
I've done that.
Yeah, we all have.
Everyone has.
I'm currently at one. Well, I just quit one, so.
You quit.
So it's apt for everyone.
Oh.
Well, let's start with first things first. Great. Tell us, what does it feel like to be 22 years young?
I don't know yet.
You'll know. You technically know, depending where.
There's not really much of a difference, I think.
Yeah, not
It is
really.
23. Or 26. I'm at 26. I don't know how old I am.
I'm pretty sure you're 26. You have the same age as me.
I thought you were 40.
I could be 40.
What is
So,
your
my
age
cousin.
again? What is
I mean,
your
look at
age
him.
again?
That was the song I was going to sing when I first went to karaoke, but I didn't get a chance to because my date had a panic attack.
Sucks.
Well, I mean, we've all had sad holidays. I mean, sorry, keep saying it. What I mean by that is, like, back in 2017, I had a Christmas where I had no money. I pretty much lost all my money due to us being... And... yeah, I couldn't buy any presents. It was like first year. And so I basically went to Christmas with nothing. Oh, it looks like my stream quality's going crap. There it is. We're good. But yeah, no, I've had other bad holidays. Like one Thanksgiving, I was living in a basement apartment, and fucking the water heater, I didn't know it was actually located in my closet on the other side. And literally Thanksgiving morning, it blew. And it just, the water went everywhere. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. There was just hot water rushing into my room.
Wow.
And yeah, I didn't get a chance to go to Thanksgiving dinner. Sucked dick.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah, that was a sad, and then everyone had the most sad St. Patrick's Day. I think this is the saddest St. Patrick's Day on record.
It was. I was at an Irish pub.
I put closed down.
How?
Where was I on
Because
St. Patrick's Day?
it was COVID started when St. Patrick's Day started.
Yeah,
I was just at home.
we were laid off the day before St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
Oh, right. I was
I literally
under
just
a
prepped
laid off
everything
in
for Irish like night and shut down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on St. Patrick's Day,
I didn't mind it,
was
but at the
off,
same
the next
time,
day I
it's
wasn't. It was very confusing.
Sir.
And it looks like we're going to be shut down for Christmas, so prepare for more sad holidays.
Yay!
Yeah. Well,
Sucks too, because last Christmas I was so sick that I couldn't do anything. So I guess I missed 2 in a row.
I mean, you could always do like Zoom meetings,
Yay, that's fun.
What the fuck
Yeah.
is Zoom?
like it's like Discord, but for
or,
business.
or Skype.
Who the fuck's
Yeah.
ever heard of Zoom? Let's get this out right now. Who the
Oh,
fuck?
that's
I
something
use it every single day.
We use this.
Yeah,
We're
I've
using
heard of
Discord
Zoom.
right now, and look how
I've heard
seamless
of
it is.
I never used it.
Every time I've seen fucking Zoom, it's shoddy bullshit, choppy fucking quality, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how the fuck
Yeah.
is this more popular than Discord? What
Yeah, I
happened?
tutor kids through Zoom every morning, and we do
It's-
like every single day. It stops working and we can't hear each other. Very
Why?
annoying.
And why do you have
It's
to do
more
it
so
over
the,
Zoom? Why
safety
can't you do
with
it
it, I
over
believe.
Discord?
Because then he has to figure out a whole new system and that's tough for him.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. It's kind of like Insanieac moving his camera around like it matters.
Matters to me.
I give himself a perfect frame in the background.
Yep.
Perfect
The
light.
way that I can sit and it's all good.
See,
Set in the
what you have to
background.
be like me and the Grease Goblin is you have to spend hours upon hours on cultivating the perfect background, for it is the only way.
See, if you had told me ahead of time, I probably would have.
But
We
that's
did.
the point. I
He
did.
did talk on Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah.
You weren't here though.
Oh, so you didn't tell me. Well, that's like
We
something I said.
did.
If
But,
I turned around, like what's in front of me looks nice.
the
What's
shitty-
behind me is
Just to bring
an
it back
overhead
to,
projector.
and then shitty birthdays. I mean,
I had a green screen.
how many shitty birthdays have we all suffered? God, I've had
How
I
old
had
am I
good
again?
stuff that I don't really like.
like I was supposed to go to Vegas this past spring for my 30th, but that fell through because of COVID, and that's just
I was supposed to go
another-
to Vancouver for my birthday last year.
Yeah, I didn't want my move to like.
What happened
yeah, so
last year?
Go ahead. Fuck it.
Well, you see, it was supposed to be during winter, but then we moved it to spring,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and I was supposed to go right after I quit my last job.
That sucks. That's bad.
And then,
Didn't that happen while you were at
yeah, it did.
Yeah, I thought I remember that.
I was supposed to leave 2 days before you.
Mhm.
Well,
And then
that's
that,
good.
like the day of or the last day of it, it's like we're shutting down.
No, I had a week still.
Did you?
Yeah, you did too, I thought.
I thought it was pretty close to like. I thought I like just quit.
Because it was right after St. Patrick's Day. It was when, like, I was supposed to be done.
I think I quit before you. I don't quite remember.
I put in my notice before you. I gave a month's notice just so that
I gave
we
two.
weren't completely screwed over.
That's why.
I gave like 3 years notice and bought my own bar, and
I felt bad I didn't give my place any notice. I just quit on the spot today.
Ah, that's fair. Were you there for 3 months?
A little bit more than that, yeah.
Ah,
But my cousin didn't want me to go there anymore because of like stuff he wanted to minimize. Like,
that's fair.
I
well,
think
I
answering John's actual question, my worst birthday would have to be a toss up between my 19th and my 21st. My 19th, I had gotten married 3 weeks earlier. Literally, like, got married at the beginning of August. My 19th birthday was the end of August. And my husband forgot about my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Just, like, straight up. And I even, like, reminded him during the day. And he was just like, no, I'm tired. He just, like, went to bed. Kind of sucked. And then my 21st, my parents forgot about it entirely. So, yay.
Yeah.
Sarah, I think
That's
your
fair.
camera is having a moment. Let's see.
What?
I think your
that's
camera's
still
having a moment.
that's unforgivable. Forgets your
That's tough,
birthday
yeah.
just when you get married too.
Yeah, right?
That sucks.
He's a real special guy.
Yeah, Jan can be that way, can't he?
Yes. It's not even so much that he forgets about things, it's that he doesn't care. Thankfully, I'm not the kind of person who'll make a huge deal out of not doing anything for our anniversary, because I also don't care that much, but that one was bad.
There was a good if it makes you feel a little better, there was a good 6-year period when I was working at a Slave Bucks. Literally, all 6 years I worked there, made me work on Christmas. Every single year, I worked on Christmas. And they made it up to me. They gave me New Year's Day and like New Year's Eve off. So like I could always like go out on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but every year work on Christmas. And the worst is they would never say it, but I knew it was because I was Jewish. I knew it. Because they'd be like they'd go up to everyone in our store, and the manager at the time would be like, "Oh, so you don't have to work, because you guys are all celebrating Christmas. Oh, C4, you're not celebrating Christmas, are you? So you want to work on Christmas? You're gonna work Christmas." And you know what? At first it bothered me, but then you get double time. So I was like, you know what? Give me those Christmas hours. Yeah, give me those Christmas hours. Give me those dirty Christmas hours. But 6 Christmases in a row. Had to miss it because
crazy.
I think my worst birthday I ended up having was at this one restaurant. I booked off the 3 days, and they didn't give it to me, and they pretty much told me that I had to find my own replacement. Once I did, I ended up actually I didn't, because I was like, well, I'm like the next day after, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy. There's no fucking way I'm going to do that. And I pretty much came in there, told me, like, because, like I said, I gave them a month a notice saying that I needed these days off. And they pretty much, like, came in and told me I was going to get written up, even though I told them ahead of time, like, you didn't tell me. They didn't tell me until I was scheduled that week of that I was going to do it, that I was scheduled to work. And I'm like, well, no, it's my birthday. I'm not coming in. And they're like, well, you're going to have to find somebody. And I'm like, well, I texted them, like, I tried. Nobody was available. I'm still not coming in. Sorry. And, like, they came in. They gave me, like, a wrote-up for not coming in. I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous, but it's whatever. It wasn't a huge deal. That place ended up, like, going down eventually after, like, a couple months after it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
For the past few years working in school has always managed to start on my birthday. Like, the first day I work has always been on my birthday. Very annoying.
Isn't that always nice, though?
You don't really get a choice because you have to work if you're in a school.
Exactly.
Gotta teach that maths.
Well, it's never an actual day with students. It's always one of those stupid prep ahead of time days, but they're so boring. Either that or they're like bringing a speaker to talk to us, and those are even worse. Like,
just make it a tradition to always bring a cake to your first day of class or your first day at work. Because then
what if I don't like my coworkers that much?
Well, for the students.
There's no students.
It's just for you. It's just for you.
Just for me?
You can eat it in front of everyone, and when they ask,
you can make a small.
Make your own.
And the more people remember, the bigger the cake you bring, because then you'll actually share it.
That's funny. The actual reason that it started on my birthday each time is because the principal's wife, her birthday was the day before mine. So he was always like avoiding hers and hitting mine. It was very, very annoying.
Goddamn corruption higher up in the school chain. Making the day off for his wife and not you.
Right.
What does our school system come to?
Well, it's a private school, so not really much of a system at all.
My school wanted to suspend me for, like, selling soda out of my lockers.
That's stupid. I think it's also
I sold tea out of my locker.
You villains.
Was it actually tea?
How dare you sell
It was
tea
actually
out of your
tea, yeah.
locker?
Oh, see, that's brilliant.
But they were okay with this other kid doing it when he ended up making money off of them. They were, like, giving him a percentage of his profits later.
Stupid.
It's so dumb. They just want to make money.
Aren't we supposed to be teaching kids how to be entrepreneurs and how to do things themselves?
Not take money.
But there's entrepreneurial.
Your camera's frozen, by the way, Sarah.
And then there's stealing from someone and then reselling it. I think we call that theft.
Or rebranding.
There's
Is my
Sarah.
camera still frozen?
No, you're good
Yes.
now.
You're back.
I can see
Oh.
you.
Okay, well,
I can see you
and-
fine.
And I've had, I mean, but birthdays are always a hit and miss. Because ever since I was a kid, it was just that way. Like, I remember one of my worst birthdays was when I was in grade 3. Yeah, it would be grade 3. I invited everyone in my class, and no one showed.
Oh,
No one showed.
I
That's
always
so
had my
sad.
birthday a few weeks late because
That's
it was like right on the the September long weekend.
Mine is no excuse. It's like right in the middle of spring. So it's
Yeah,
like
no,
everyone's in
you're
school.
easy.
And like but then I've had some birthdays that make up for it. So it's always I never really count birthdays part of the holidays. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. Like I mean, that's pretty much it with birthdays. But with holidays you kind of expect them to be good. But
Yeah.
like when you have something happen on Thanksgiving, especially since it's American Thanksgiving tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to any American viewers out there.
South Canadians.
Enjoy your
Sorry.
weird late Thanksgiving when it's no longer fall.
I'll give them American today because it's Thanksgiving, and go Cowboys.
Are they thankful for it though?
Go Cowboys.
Yay, sports.
But and Christmas and New Year's, like, but there's also I think sometimes it balances because like one of my favorite Christmases and Hanukkahs and New Year's all wrapped in one was a few years back. Me and my little sister we went to Israel together, and we went during Christmas, and Hanukkah was right across Christmas and New Year's, so we went
Ooh.
and we toured Israel over during Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's, and we spent New Year's in Jerusalem, and that was one of our favorite memories. Was like, and it's one of our and we didn't spend it with the rest of our family, but we just had the greatest time, and because
That sounds great.
it's also like
Does.
because I'm used to hanging out with my older sister because she's always taking people on trips or coming up and doing small things like that, or like taking me out for a couple days skiing or something. But that was really fun. That was one of my favorite holidays. And then I've had, some bad ones. Some really bad ones.
I mean, who hasn't though?
Exactly.
Yeah, I had family problems. My parents, my dad and his girlfriend went to Mexico, and they came back Christmas Day but didn't tell me. And then they're like, "Oh, are you gonna like come to Christmas?" And I'm like, I didn't even know they were coming back, so I didn't have anything for any of them. And it was like my dad, his girlfriends, their kids, and
His
my brother and his
girlfriends?
girlfriend.
Did I hear
Girlfriend.
that? Okay. It's gonna be like,
No.
wow,
Just one.
Dad's impressive.
Sometimes. But no. But I felt bad because I didn't have anything the whole time. It was just bad.
I have a feel bad Christmas. Back when I was like, still in high school, we went on a cruise for Christmas and New Year's, and I was 17, so I couldn't drink. But all the stuff they have for like 17 and under on cruise ships, like I'm from an inner city high school, man. Like we for fun, we sit around and got drunk and got baked and got high and like fucked around, right? I don't want to go sit in a fucking room and play fucking Guitar Hero or fucking Xbox and drink pop and have a fun time with other 16 and 15-year-olds. Oh, wooly lolly. Like, oh, I'm so happy here.
Like I'm hanging out at home.
So, like, I would go to, every time I went to port, I would just buy liquor.
Yeah.
And I'd bring it
Oh
on
my
board. And I got caught. Like, I passed out on deck. And my dad, my dad's not. Me and my dad have had a rocky relationship because he's a very stern man, and he was.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And he did not like getting lectured to, because they almost kicked us off the ship because I got so fucking pissed drunk. You know what saved me though? This if anything, what saved me was I always was nice and I always tipped the maid service, because
Really?
I no, always I was
So that's-
always, so like they're the really old like Asian women. I think they were Filipino, but I don't know, but I was always super nice to them, and I would always give them a $5 bill, because I'd look at them and be like, no, it's you're cleaning my room for me, like, just here you go. And they saved me, because the captain was going to throw me off, and he heard from them, from the cleaning corps, that I was so nice to these women. So sober Jonathan saved the day, because 90% of the time it was drunk me rocking around that ship, just hammered. But yeah, it was almost a sad Christmas. It was an awkward Christmas day. Let's say that. Almost being
That
I
makes
bet.
sense.
a day before, almost being thrown off the cruise, spending it with your family. Trying not to tell them there's like another 4 bottles of liquor in your room that you really want to just open and drown in. But fun times.
That's for later.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, it's good times being a kid.
I went to Mexico for my first Christmas after my parents got divorced. My dad took me and my brother there, and I got drunk in Mexico when I was 17.
Nice.
My
They had 3
parents
bars,
took me to-
and I got kicked out of 2, and just kept going to different ones.
Did your father win your affection well?
Not really win my affection. He showed up at the bar while I was really hammered, and apparently I was drinking and dancing with these like old like cougar ladies.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even recognize me right away, and then when he did, he like grabbed me and pulled me out.
That's hilarious.
But I mean,
it's
in the
not
war,
the worst way to spend a Christmas.
in the war for your affection, was your heart won by a trip to Mexico?
I mean, I already chose going with them that way, so he already won something.
I was on a camping trip with my parents literally 1 week before my 18th birthday, and
Gross.
they decided to go to a winery and took me with them. And I was like, in a week I can drink this, but not now. Why?
That's too funny.
It was a very sad trip to a winery.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Don't know what they were thinking.
Well,
What about sad Thanksgivings? I've had quite a few.
I have a sad Easter. Does
Go
that count?
for it.
So, like, this was like 2 weeks before, but like my grandma went into the hospital 2 weeks before Easter.
Oh no.
So we spent Easter in the hospital.
That's rough.
Sweet. How was that?
Was it?
Does it smell like it? Well, I
No.
do you know what
I
Robbie
hate the
Burns
hospital,
Day is?
personally.
I don't like hospitals.
So, Robbie Burns Day is this like holiday at the end of January, and
January 25th, I think.
I because I sing in the Scottish choir, we do this thing called the Mobile Burns, where we go to old folks' homes and retirement homes, and daycare and living homes, and we sing and we do this whole Robbie Burns ceremony for them, and they love it. Well, there's one place we go, and it's one place we go in the city, and it is the extreme care, no money, home.
Oh no.
And you want to talk about sad? Holy! All it smells like is sterilized piss everywhere, and everywhere I look is just sad. Of like, there's obviously no money except government funding in these places,
Yeah.
What is
and
that?
it's just, and the worst part is when I go to these care homes, like most of the nurses and most of the staff are usually pretty chipper. Some places they seem a little crusty. In that home, everyone just looks like someone just died. I'm pretty
Someone
sure.
probably did die.
I was gonna say that, or it's like,
I mean, that's a very good chance there.
but yeah, I used to do that every year until obviously COVID, but like that's what I would go, and I'd participate in that, but yeah, more, and then for like Passover or Easter, I guess, whatever you crazy Christians call it. Um, we I've had a few, man. Actually, what made Passover sad for me is it's the entire idea of Passover is about being with your entire family more so than Thanksgiving or Christmas. And
Yeah.
like my sisters were always gone. Always.
Where were they?
Either traveling, in the States working. It's far enough in the spring that Olivia or my younger sister might be already out fighting wildfires, and it's not a major holiday, so my older sister would never really get it off, so she'd always take the short time, like spring break, to go traveling, usually to somewhere in the southern states, because that's where she lives, and it's like party central down there every spring break. Just so it was like it for the longest time since we weren't kids, it was always my least favorite because it would just be me and my two parents who we have a very tenuous relationship. It's, you know, better than it used to be, but, you know, can be tenuous. And then recently, the one thing I do like about COVID, if it be said, is I got to spend Passover with my whole family. And I was like,
That's awesome.
Well,
I
that's
know.
good. Yeah.
It takes a worldwide pandemic killing millions of people to bring my family together. So enthralling.
I had to explain to a kid what Passover was yesterday. He was reading the book Night, and apparently his teacher didn't stop to check that they actually knew what it meant. So, yeah, that was...
Really? He's
Yeah.
reading the book Night, eh?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a good book.
Oh, wow.
I liked it.
It's
Oh,
a good book. It's so sad. It
you should.
breaks my heart.
Oh
It is.
man,
It's a reality of things, right?
it's not as bad as Daniel's story. You wanna read something
I
that's
like
just
that a lot,
I
honestly.
don't. No,
Oof.
I really don't want to.
I on that note, I could always give you a copy of my great grandfather's story. He saved like 100 and some families. He's actually has a book and stuff.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah,
I heard there was another, there's a handful of people that did that. It's so awesome to know that they're still around and to be recognized.
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But I guess to say cheers to the Grease Goblin entering his the he's entering the early stages now. He's now finally
Really of what?
of the first ever crease line on his face.
I'll drink to that.
Because usually by 25 we all have one.
I have a bunch around my eyes.
See,
It's because I smile a lot.
I told you, it'll happen. So,
I don't know. I don't see one.
in honor of him,
I have to stare at your face closer, man.
what was the most loner birthday you've ever had? Ever?
This one.
I'd say last year, honestly. I had just got dumped, so I went out drinking with a bunch of coworkers. So not super bad, but still super lonely.
Well, thanks for putting us above that. That makes me happy.
Yeah, always my birthday with you anytime, John.
You're
That's nice.
welcome. All right, what about moving up the board to Sarah?
The most loner birthday I've ever had. I like being alone. So I've had a lot of birthdays that are more or less alone. Oh, you know what? It was this year. I was texting you guys during it. For my birthday this year, I went camping, and my birthday was on a Thursday, so I went from like Tuesday to Thursday, so I was leaving on my birthday. But I went by myself. I went out to this really nice place that has a lake and some playgrounds and stuff, and I really love it. And I spent like from 9 o'clock to midnight on like the last day I was 25, right before my birthday, just like wandering around in the dark, watching the stars come out, playing in playgrounds. It was amazing. I had such a great time. I was so happy. I sat in a hammock and ate cake and drank wine as I turned 26. It was great.
Well, we have someone who liked their loner birthday, moving
Yeah.
cross board to Insaniac?
I've had a few birthdays alone where I've just like drinking or I've been stuck working and I've just gone home and gotten stoned and played video games. Like nothing really too crazy.
That's every other year, though.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, haven't really had like any bad ones, but
I mean, in our industry, tips are usually better if you make a big deal of your birthday.
yeah, if you save them.
Makes
But
sense.
I mean, I don't always do that. I save it for weed usually.
Yeah,
It's
that's
my
also true.
my ganja funds, my self-medication funds.
Exactly. That's my
How about
duty-free
you?
store money.
Gordon?
Probably, if I really think about it, probably my 24th birthday. A lot of my friends, will say disappeared for G-rated sake. And
That's fair, yeah.
I'd gone to a lot of funerals that year already, and like because my birthday's in spring, and so I basically spent my birthday alone, and it was just after my one buddy had just robbed me, so
Oh my goodness.
the one buddy who was living with me had just robbed me, and I had lost quite a few. And then so I remember sitting in my apartment and my roommate was on vacation and he was my only other friend, so I just sat at home and started playing Hearthstone, and that's when I started playing Hearthstone, and that horrible game has been a part of my life ever since. But yeah, that was that birthday all those many moons ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Any last word on shitty holidays?
Not so much.
Arbor Day. Arbor Day is a pretty shitty holiday.
What? Oh yeah, that's a fucking holiday.
What do you think it's Arbor Day? Are we supposed to like go have a chicken?
You're supposed to plant a tree.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Okay.
Fuck the environment. Who fucking cares, man?
It's such
It's
a stupid
already
holiday,
dead.
though.
The world's already fucked. Might as well just not care.
What about Flag Day?
That's a
Do
good.
we even have a flag day in
It's on
Canada?
That's over there.
We do.
Why are we talking about these shitty days? Except Canada Day. I've always
You
had a
said
great time
sad
on Canada
holidays.
Day.
Oh, careful, John. You're
Canada Day?
I think it's pessimism.
Canada Day. Greatest holiday. Same with Victoria Day.
Absolutely.
Gotta love Victoria Day. All hail the
Oh
Queen.
yeah, Victoria Day is great.
All hail the Queen.
Canada was the stupidest day ever.
But yeah, Flag Day is February 15th.
Why?
Wow. What a...
Wait, that's the day after Valentine's
The day after other shitty holidays. Single Awareness Day, actually.
That just
Wow.
sounds like the most depressing day I've ever heard of. Hey, look, it's... Oh, yeah. Valentine's Day. I see what you're doing. All right, so moving on. We all work. That's obviously a shit thing.
Wait, we do?
But what I mean by
More or
work, what I meant by work as a topic is, like, in my life, I've worked at sea, I've worked in kitchens, I own a bar currently, I've worked in coffee shops, I've worked in grocery stores, I've worked in like fucking literally, I've literally cleaned shit out of outhouses. I mean,
Why?
works because it paid like $22 an hour, and like
But why clean out? That seems ridiculous.
because they had these
Unless they're like porta potties.
literally.
Okay.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Porta potties.
I was thinking outhouses like in the woods. Like, why would you clean that?
But yeah,
Why not?
So,
Who are you to judge John's life?
we've all been through the shit drag that is work.
True.
I used to work at a bowling alley.
Was that fun?
I broke my finger twice.
How?
Well, you see, I was in charge of fixing like balls getting stuck underneath. So a kid threw a ball. I didn't hear it coming.
Oh no.
And my finger was stuck in there while I was pulling out a ball, and it smashed.
That sucks.
It
Yeah.
does.
That's a pain, yeah.
All right, I'm going to be honest with you right now. When I used to go bowling as a kid and I see people put their hand down in the bowling pins and do the exact same thing you do, I would
That's
immediately bowl.
completely fair.
I immediately
That's a great target, man.
I'll be honest.
It's like when you see the golf cart at a driving range, right?
But it wasn't underneath like where the pins are. It's underneath where the track goes for where the balls return.
Doesn't. Oh, okay. But
So I have to pull up a thing and then I have to go underneath.
just for context, though, like just so we're clear on all, you know, on
Oh,
all
I
fronts.
completely agree. That's completely fair.
I immediately bowl because if I hit that buddy's hand, I'm just the happiest kid.
Bonus points.
Thing is, I was lucky enough that when I had to fix tangles, we actually have a system where the screen doesn't go up until after it's fixed.
Oh.
So I would have to turn off the machine. I'd have to untangle whatever the mess was, and then I'd have to get up quickly and then turn the machine back on.
Oh.
It was not fun. Because my bowling alley did a league night every 3 days.
When I was working at a laundromat years ago, I have a lot of dirty stories actually about that laundromat.
Oh, that's completely fair.
But
Laundromats are very dirty.
Surprise.
oh man, no, we're not going there. That's a whole nother story for another time.
Do it.
But
Do it.
one of the
That's the whole
I know you want to.
one of the other things at this laundromat is the owner would sell dope out of it. And so I'd go and smoke in the back, right?
That's completely fair.
And I remember this job was prime because I'd get paid minimum wage and I'd be front counter. And one day I had me and like 6 of my buddies like sit in the back of this laundromat because it's a giant like full laundromat and we were just getting fucking ripped, like just ripped. And all of a sudden the back door opens and the owner walks in right in front of our circle as we're just sitting there smoking. He looks at me and he just takes a joint from my hand, smokes it, puts it back and goes, oh, are you fucking kidding me, man? This stuff is shit. And he walks off. And all my friends are just fucking stopped and I'm like, I mean, he's not wrong. He wasn't wrong.
I mean, yeah.
Cassandra wants to hear more of these laundromat stories. Oh God.
Everyone on here's.
So, this laundromat. It is it's a laundromat in the city I live. I'm not gonna say its name or where it's located. A lot of good times.
Is it
there,
the one I'm
though.
thinking of?
It probably isn't.
You have so many.
I'm thinking of the one.
Why don't
very
you type
close
it in
to
chat?
where you live?
Why don't you type it to my text it to me and I'll let you know because I don't.
Or just
But so at this laundromat, like I said, the owners dealt weed, which was great because it was its own operation. So I started with like just doing menial jobs, and they'd give me joints. So I'd fucking go out back and just get baked, and everyone knew it. Like it's such a mind-numbing job, and it started with like one of the coolest things that the owner did is he figured out that there's this donation, I guess, and they give out candies in this open box, and you were supposed to pay what you want and pay what you can and take a candy, and all donations go to this charity. And this one guy worked at the laundromat. He was a delivery driver. No, it's not that one, bud. He would this delivery driver, he'd go down, put in $1, and then take all the fucking candies. Just take all of them. Because he didn't give no shits. It was fucking hilarious. And everyone caught on. So when he'd come in, even if he didn't buy any candies, someone would throw $1 in a little box and just take all of them. and we like they just kept bringing more shit, and we just kept ripping them off. But that was a small thing. The other thing was the backs. So like there's a space like probably enough to fit 2 full-bodied people in the back behind every one of these laundry machines, but the dust is like this. The dust is so goddamn thick. Because you never clean it. No one ever goes back there and cleans behind these machines. And are we gonna get Jeremy?
Ooh.
We are.
And I met this girl once. And she came in and she knew one of the, I guess she was like related, or she knew one of the people who worked there. Anyway, they brought her in to meet me, and she was pretty close to my age. I think she's a bit older. And first time she meets me, she hangs out with me, buys me a sandwich, and then takes me back there. Like after we're closed, right? And yeah, one thing leads to another, and I don't need to say anymore. And it was the greasiest thing I'd ever done, and I'd never seen her again. But like I felt so gross, but it wasn't the first time that happened. I will admit, like it was the perfect space, and at the same time, I went back there once in the autumn, in the fall. And I just see these big black garbage bags. And, you know, I sometimes take peeks back there, but I hadn't gone back there in like a month. And I see these huge black garbage bags. And I go and I look inside one of them, and it's just plants of weed. Just giant bags of weed. And I realized, because there's this one corner that always looked, that the dust looked like a little bit less, that this is where they stored all the weed that they'd sell before they transferred it. And I just laugh, and I'm like, that's so genius. Who would think to it? Because you can't smell it at all, because it's a laundromat.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
But I worked there for a while. Eventually, because I was going to school, I got lazy. And I eventually got fired, which is hilarious, because I got fired for being lazy at a laundromat where everyone was smoking so much dope and barely did anything.
Had to be lazy around these people. Yeah.
That reminds me of the time I went to work high accidentally.
Accidentally, yeah, okay.
It was completely accidental, though.
I mean, I just think that's not even a first step thing.
I've told you the story, Andrew.
I feel like
I would like to hear this story, accidentally, supposedly.
Yeah.
I go to work.
I had a friend who I used to work with. He got me edibles for cheap. I thought they would kick in like a lot sooner than they would have.
Oh dear.
So I showed up to work high as fuck after eating like 4 or 5 gummies.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Well, let him finish.
And like, yeah, I don't remember that shift at all.
Yeah,
I woke up with a lot of burns.
Oh no.
The next day, my boss came up to me and he was like, I don't care if you're high, hungover, whatever, just do your fucking job.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah.
That was too funny.
It was, and I didn't realize I was high the whole time.
Yeah, you were like eating food quite a bit, and you were just
I was like
really
taste
fast.
testing everything multiple times.
I've had a story like
I
that.
made like 3 pizzas for myself without knowing.
I didn't go to work intentionally high. Well, okay, that's unfair. It was a Halloween. I think I told this story once on stream, but I'll tell it again. It was a Halloween, and I had planned to take a bunch of acid and go out and dress up and go out. And I was working at Slave Bucks at the time, and the store had decided to do Christmas setup the next day on November 1st, and which means I had to be at work at 8 a.m. And I remember going up to my boss because I didn't give a fuck about my job, and I was like, "Look, this is my Halloween plans. I'm doing a bunch of acid. I'm going to be at work at 8 a.m., but I am not responsible for the way I am. And my boss, the saint that she was, just said, all right, John, all right, go for it. And I did, and I showed up to work, and all she had me do for setup was sit in the stock room and restock the shelves and break down boxes for 8 hours. It was beautiful. She was even down there with me, helping me. Like, it was because it was the best escape. But I literally got paid for 8 hours of work being high out of my mind on acid. It was perfect.
Nice.
I got paid for 8 hours of work being high.
I have never been high at work, so I have never been.
That's because you can't get away with it.
Yeah.
It's also because I don't really get high, so.
Okay, so where's the worst place you worked, Sarah?
The worst place I worked at Tim Hortons for a long time. That sucked.
You were a coffee slave as well.
I almost worked at Tim Hortons.
I also worked for a cleaning company for a while, like a maid service company. I enjoyed the job, but my boss was weird.
You were a maid?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was the boss for your
Whoa. This has all of a sudden changed completely.
I was the boss for your job.
I want to hear about some people's places.
Like their houses?
That sounds like a good story.
There must have been some places you walked in and been like, what the fuck? Not like impressive, but like, come on. Or tell us a weird
middle-aged man who was clearly hitting on an 18-year-old coworker of mine. That was really weird.
Well, I mean,
and then the coworker kept not doing her job right and lying about it being me and got me fired. So.
Okay, so tell me about the houses.
There weren't that many houses that were gross. It was mostly like we were called professional house cleaners, not maids. So for the most part, it was things that were scheduled regularly. So it was just people who had extra money who didn't want to bother cleaning a lot of parts of their houses themselves. So we didn't clean up, like, if someone threw their clothes all over the floor, we wouldn't clean that up. We might, like, throw it in a laundry basket or something, but that would be the extent of it.
Did you ever find anything, I'm going to use the word suspect?
No, I didn't.
Provocative.
No.
Provocative? I like that. Did you ever
Central.
Really?
I did not.
Provocative is a little bit better than suspect.
Well, those are two different things, let's be honest.
The people that I was working with.
Are they, though?
I think the way John meant it, yes.
So, like, we didn't open their drawers or anything. We would never be opening their drawers. We did things like cleaning the floors, cleaning the kitchens, cleaning the bathrooms, like those deep clean things people don't want to do themselves, but they need to do them.
Yeah.
So people had to, like, tidy up their own
How many
things.
dead bodies did you find?
72.
72. Good for you.
That's low.
Only 72,
I was
yeah.
only there for like 3 months.
Okay, I guess that's understandable.
My cleaning story, I mentioned it earlier, was one of my first jobs. I worked for a private company to clean outhouses. Or sorry, porta potties. And I did that for 3 days. Count them. 3 fucking days. First 2 days were okay. You know, it was fine. You have this giant machine and you just sit inside. The guy who was watching me just kind of watched there and told me how to use the hoses, and you just kind of spray everything down and then use a giant suction cup to suction everything. But the third day we went to a park in the city with a bunch of them, and almost all of them were tipped over.
Oh.
And the guy with me just looked at me and said, clean them up. And I looked at him, and I realized the walk home was about an hour. And I took off my overalls and just walked home. And said, nope.
Wow, that's completely fair.
I quit. Thank you very much. And that was my first job. I never did anything like that again.
Mm-hmm. That's understandable.
Yeah, that sounds gross.
But $25 an hour at 17.
Oh, that's actually still very good.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah. And that would have been a while ago, so like that would have been way above minimum wage too, like.
Yep. Like I said,
well over double.
They pay the big bucks for the shitty jobs.
Yeah, that's true.
They do. That's
I
why
did not
trades pay so
get
well.
anywhere near that
Yeah.
much for cleaning people's houses.
Yeah.
I think I got like $14 an hour for cleaning people's houses.
I got $13 for breaking my finger twice. I didn't get
Yeah.
WCB.
What else have I done? Where have I worked? I worked at Tim Hortons. I worked there.
I worked at London Drugs for a little while.
I was a janitor at my school when I was in high school. Because for some reason they thought that hiring high school students to be janitors was a good idea. It wasn't.
Wait. You were given janitor privileges at your school?
Yeah, man.
That is stories we would like to hear.
Oh, dude, if I was given janitor privileges at my school, there's like 3 different basements in our school because it was so old. That would have been boss.
My school was a half circle of unconnected portables arranged around a church. So it was not that exciting. I was in the kindergarten classroom that I was cleaning. So again, not that exciting, and a really nice teacher, so I didn't want to mess anything up. But I was depressed as hell that year. So I would often just not do it, or I would get my brother to do it for me and then pay him afterwards. I don't know. I did have the code to like the big building. The one big building I had the code to get in. I could have done stuff. I didn't, but I could have. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not exciting enough.
Is it just me when Sarah mentions like that her school is like a church with a bunch of portables sound around it, and then we look at us 3 and we're like, how do you fit in?
I went to
Good for
public school.
you. Good for you. I too went to public school.
Me too.
It was like a bunch of one-room schoolhouses. It was actually pretty sweet when I was young, but then in that aforementioned year, it was horrific.
Isn't that technically child labor, though?
I was 15, so no.
Were you paid?
Oh yeah, I was paid.
I mean,
Okay, then it's not technically child labor.
Yeah, no, it was a job. They had it set up as a real job. It just wasn't necessarily the best idea because it meant that everything was always a little gross because 15-year-olds were cleaning the place.
let's ask the audience. Was Sarah forced into child labor by her school?
I wasn't forced. I did it of my own free will.
100%.
But were you incentivized by money?
Were you incentivized to do child labor?
Did any of you have a job when you were 15?
I did. I worked
actually.
in the Stampede.
There you go. See?
I was at London Drugs at the time.
Were you incentivized by money? Because
I wasn't actually paid for that.
That's not good.
It was job experience.
Oh, those suck.
Yeah.
My friend, you can't shout while you're talking. You go robotic, and hurt thine ears.
Oh, am I robotic right now?
No, only when you shout or talk loud.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll
When you get
go
excited,
more
you
monotone.
That's cool. I never got. I mean, our school did like a voluntary like candy shop, but you couldn't make money at it. It just seems a little out of place. Even in high school, we couldn't do anything we make money from.
The school I went to after that had a little like they sold snacks and stuff, and students were paid to work there too.
I mean, just to answer Insanieac, just so you know, doesn't mean we didn't make money in high school on high school grounds.
No, I get that. I would say that's when I sold pop on my lawn to make money when I was in school.
I sold tea and condoms.
I also sold my lunch to stoners.
People were really interested in the condoms.
I had this one stoner kid that always wanted my lunch. He started asking me for granola bars and sandwiches and shit all the time, or like random ass
Most
things.
people sell drugs, but instead we have pop, and then down here we have condoms and tea.
And tea.
And I was also food. I had granola bars, lunch snacks.
Oh! I'm sorry. I am remiss to say that you were your own little grocery store. I now imagine you standing in your high school.
I bought myself a
I even know the high school you went to, so I can imagine you standing in the hallways, going up and down the stairs, going in a big trench coat, and being like, "Hey, hey, hey," and then on one side is pop, and the other side is granola bars. But
It was in my backpack actually.
Want to buy some
But
candy?
if I couldn't fit it in my backpack, I'd take it back to my locker.
Do you have a kettle like in your locker?
Yeah, I had a snack in my locker of sodas.
And then for Goblin, I just imagine he opens his locker and it's just stacks of condom packs, single condom packages. Like
Funny you should mention that.
It's just stacks.
It was actually the free condoms you got from sex ed.
Exactly, just stacks of them, and like
I charged like $1 for condom.
I was just say.
I also sold buttons at my work. Once I learned I had a design class, and once I learned how to make
God.
physical things, I'd sell them. They're like
You
the
earned your name
pin-on button on your
thrice
shirt.
over today.
It was like customized pins.
The idea of getting condoms for free from sex ed just blows my mind because my school didn't have sex ed. Never mind condoms.
That's because
It was weird.
public school is better than private school in some cases.
We're selling
Yeah.
condoms by the package at $1 a condom. You have earned your name.
It was flavored condoms too.
You have
Flavored
earned
condoms
your
went
name.
for $1.50.
From sex ed, they had flavored condoms.
You have earned your name.
They did.
Thrice today. The Grease Goblin. That is whew. I mean, I've done some greasy shit, but that's like selling
It worked
smokes.
so well though.
Like I used to sell prime times at like $2 a pop, but like they cost me $1.50, so I was only making 50 cents. You're taking something free and just scrubbing out $1
Maximizing your profits.
from horny teens.
Exactly. You gotta be smart with your money and your investments.
Exactly.
Is that what we're calling it now? Smart with our money.
Well, that's what I'd say to myself back then. It's business.
It's all...
I had some
And
kid trying to
business
compare
is
prices to me
booming.
from like down the street. He'd be like, "Oh, I can get this from 7-Eleven cheaper down the road." I'm like, "Well, go fucking get it, man. Like, if you want it here, I can give it to you for this." Like, I'm not making
Eventually,
a deal.
after a little while, I upgraded. I had a business partner for a little while.
Whoa! Did he make the tea or find the condom?
Do you guys watch South Park? I
she
just imagine
sold
Butters.
toys.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
impressive. Where did she get those?
Don't worry about it.
I just imagine Goblin looking like Butters with like a bunch of different women doing different things for him.
John's turned out for me. Or maybe it's me.
I think it's you. I
I
can.
think it's just you.
Your camera's frozen too.
Yeah, mine. That's right.
Whoa! So Jeremy's here.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Mine had a stroke.
I don't see him though.
Yeah, we don't get to see his beautiful face.
No.
So sad.
His regal face.
Yeah,
Regal.
we don't get to be blessed with his regal presence. It's so...
It's so sad.
Just his lilting voice.
Everyone else has seen his face, just not you guys.
It's true.
Me.
I mean, I got that. That's about as best I can do right now.
That's
My
fair.
computer's getting real hot.
That works. As
Can't
long
handle
as
all
you're
our
here.
faces in the same place.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Andrew.
So what about you? Any bad work stories, Jeremy? Please share a few.
I'm gonna be back in a second.
I mean, there was the time that me and my buddy were told to clean all the grout out with butter knives. After
Oh.
about 7 hours of doing that, we were given shit for doing that because that actually ruined the job and they had to get the grouting redone.
Brilliant.
And we both just pointed at the manager. Yeah, that was great. That was like a wasted 7 hour time.
A
Yeah.
paid wasted hour, 7 hour time.
That's true. That's actually
Yeah, paid though, yeah. But it was the worst.
That reminds me of the time I had to set up a fryer for 7 hours of my shift.
That wouldn't be alright.
Oh no, it was completely fine. I had to waste 25 minutes of my life getting it with the chemical cleaner.
Mm.
What do you mean?
Like the whatever the chemical is that you use to clean it. It takes 25 minutes to go through the whole cycle. So you boil it with water and the chemical,
Okay.
and then I had to scrub it afterwards, and then soak it again, boil the water. I was fine wasting 7 hours of my life doing that for next to nothing, or for minimum wage.
You can finish that sentence here. Next to nothing. It's the
I
truth.
mean,
Yeah.
$15 an hour is not next to nothing technically.
And now it is.
Most Southern Canadians would be very jealous of that.
Their
money's
dollar is
worth
also
more than
worth
ours.
more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So where's the worst place you worked, Sir Jeremy?
The worst place?
Tell us. Regale
So,
us with your...
My worst place was out.
Because, I mean, if you're having fun, it's not that bad. I'm generally screwed around with the people I'm working with while we're doing our shit. I mean, Insanieac can attest.
But
All the
you,
time.
We worked together a few times, yeah.
Always fucking around.
so
Even if you said that previous kitchen that we worked in, that was a terrible place to be.
Yeah.
We had a good time while we were working there.
Oh yeah, always find time to make some fun.
good for you.
Right? I find it's more about the staff than it is the place, right?
Yeah.
The job's
It
really
really
monotonous
is.
anywhere you go.
My worst was dealing with a manager who told me I didn't need to think that he got paid for that job.
I mean,
It wasn't that you had to get things out in a certain order and not think.
No, it's because I came in trying to tell the staff of what they were going to clean for the day, but he already told them a different job.
Ah.
I was being a night supervisor and planning out my
Gotta
night.
remember the level of authority in Saniac.
This guy just was the newest chef. He just started here.
Yeah,
within
but that
a couple
doesn't
days.
matter. Doesn't matter how long you've been there. It's about the It's about the.
It wasn't authority. It was about saying, "Hey, this is my job. You can let me know instead of having to wait around. I can do your job for you."
You
So
should
my
just
job
know
is-
your job.
I know my job. It was me saying I can do that job, and then he's saying, "Oh, you don't need to do that job.
Dude,
I get paid to do that job."
I thought you just left your recent job.
I did. This is a different fucking place.
Seems to be like a reoccurring thing.
Was it that place, Andrew?
No, I left that place because of COVID. I don't know if
that's
that's pretty reoccurring. I think we only had that one once.
I don't know what you're talking
Not
about.
me.
COVID's only been around for 1 year.
Haven't lost my job because of COVID.
Happy birthday.
I didn't lose my job because of COVID. I chose to leave because of COVID.
I can't do that. I have to serve the truckers. Serve them so that everyone
I
gets
would control
food.
you.
yeah, we're not shutting down.
I was working at a burger place beside the Stampede.
We aren't either.
Sorry, was that? You're not shutting down either, Jeremy? Hello? Hello? No, you died.
Oh no!
My place isn't shutting down either for that, if that matters.
I love how he says, "Yeah, my place isn't shutting down either," and then he just then his internet shuts down.
I mean, maybe he did shut down and he just doesn't know it.
It's the meme that everything is fine. Question is, where does Insaniac keep going?
It's going to be interesting to see how the kid I'm working with goes to the school I worked with for the past couple of years. So it's going to be interesting to see how the school does the same stupid thing that they did last time everything shut down. The way that they rearranged classes online.
Be a horrible. So rearrange. I thought they already should have, because I thought it's shut down now, isn't it?
Starting on Monday. They have until Monday.
Yeah.
Or the end of the week.
Friday is the last day of classes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for all those people at university, having been.
I
one of
mean,
them.
they've been doing online classes for the whole time, though.
Some of them have. I'm actually talking to someone right now who they started doing online classes like a week ago. A university in Calgary, a small one.
My cousin is doing online classes.
It's more
Yeah.
the experience, man.
The same one who cut my lip open.
Oh.
Going to university, like that whole experience is one of those things, especially when you're young. You'll never get another chance to. And it's definitely a lot of fun. And I just imagine. I know it's a horrible, selfish thing to think about, but I just feel sorry for all those kids that don't get to experience that.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, I mean, you make a lot of lifelong friends at university, aka, like, it's the first time I met your husband, actually.
No, it's not the first time you met him.
It would be.
It was at least like the third time you met him.
It was like It was the first time I started talking to him, though. Was at university.
The first time that it wasn't an arranged meeting between us
Yeah.
because of his aunt being like, "Hey, you are all young, and you are the only young people in this room, so be friends."
Mm-hmm. No, I actually started talking with him and meeting him outside. And same with like my other friends. I have a couple other friends I met through university that are just lifelong friends.
Yeah, I've got a couple really good friends that I met in university, and we still talk all the time.
And it's just I could imagine going into university now, especially after last year or after last fall, last spring, screwing everything. It would suck.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I'm happy I got rejected from university.
Honestly, yeah, this is the best time to be rejected from university.
Did
It
we
could
get
have
either of them
been
back?
because the course I went for would have been very in class, but it wouldn't have worked.
What were you going for?
I was going for culinary.
Ooh, good
You're gonna go to university for that?
Yeah, I was going to go to the same school you went to.
Yeah.
That was called. It's a polytech. It's not a university.
Yeah, well, same difference.
We're not sure what's going to happen because Jan is only having 1 week of in-school stuff, and that's
Oh, wow.
That's next week.
If I can say in that program that I took, the second year program is the best program.
Oh, yeah. Because the time I went there to do a shadowing for the students last year. From what I saw, the shadowing was actually a lot better than what the actual course was, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the course, it depended on the chefs you had, and the teachers changed every couple years. They weren't always teaching the same class.
I had to spend an hour of my life making scalloped potatoes.
There was actually a teacher and a student that couldn't be in the same room anymore because they kept fighting all the time.
Oh, no.
That's fair, honestly.
This older Asian lady cook and this younger dude that ended up sleeping with my ex-girlfriend. So it was hysterical.
Oh, that's
Could
kind
not
of
be in the
sad,
same room.
though.
I mean,
really is.
it was after we kind of had a weird moment. It wasn't a bad thing.
A weird moment.
It's a story. Not a film's talk show story.
But yeah,
That sounds like a talk show story.
I do feel bad for a lot of people in post-secondary right now, especially and
Oh,
in
yeah.
high school, because like up here
Yeah.
in Canada we have provincials, right? So we talked about it
No.
last time.
Fun fact, they are all optional.
Yeah, they're all.
Oh, that's
They made them all
interesting.
optional for the rest of the school
But
year.
that doesn't mean you should take it just because it's optional.
What?
They made the diplomas optional, yeah.
That is a little ridiculous, if I'm being honest.
Well, now I feel like my education.
You're gonna put that back if you don't do it. So I don't know if it's the best idea to not.
You're gonna what, Andrew?
It still sets you back if you don't do it, right?
We are the only province in Canada that has them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are
Because
we?
we actually care
Uh-huh.
about our education.
No, the diplomas are stupid.
No, they're
useless.
not. I love them.
Oh yeah, they are.
Because
No,
no,
they don't actually
Never
test
mind.
anything useful.
Sarah, they are how I passed school.
Well,
I would
good for
do.
you.
I would do
Oh,
Yeah,
crap.
I'll be honest.
I would
That's
do-
very true.
I would do no homework. I would never go to class, and then I would get like 90s in the diplomas and the provincials and the exams.
Well,
and,
see, that's
like-
why they're useless because they don't actually give a good indication.
What are you
of
talking
how
about?
much
I'm a genius
work
according
better.
to them, and I will agree. That's right. Be in awe of my genius.
Super genius.
I actually have recently become more and more against tests. I've been against them for a while, but in specific
I get
situations-
test
they have
anxiety, I'll be
some-
honest.
Yeah, they have some usefulness, but it's pretty limited. And yesterday I was
Those are my bread and butter.
some kids with learning disabilities get like readers and scribes for tests. So yesterday I was doing that for a kid.
Yeah, if you like touched it,
got
to
lucky,
the way you learn.
and back to the Sunday topic, I kind of cheated on my final exams.
Oh my goodness. But this kid, he was writing this test and it was on night. And one of the questions was like, what instrument did Juliet play? And it was like, why is this on a test? This is not going to benefit
It's
him
an
in any way in
important
his life.
and hard-hitting, intrepid question that
What
separates.
Instagram did Juliet play?
What type of instrument did Juliet play?
Oh,
That sets the difference between those who are intelligent and those who aren't. And
does it?
such a simple
Does it?
question can't
It's
be
a random
answered.
piece of trivia.
Yeah, but if people can't get that right answer, I mean, what does it say about them?
But what is that
That's
question
very
weight
valid.
over any other type of trivial question?
Exactly.
Are you stupid
Obviously,
because you don't know any other trivia question on the spot?
Would it not be
obviously
better
we
to
don't know
explore
the intricacies and the level of care that each question has been taken upon by those in the educational system.
I
to,
do know the intricacy and
that's-
level of care that
You sound like a politician because you didn't answer my question at all. You didn't answer a single thing.
It's such a complex and large system of oversight that we have
Well
to
then,
have
John,
faith.
what's the answer? What makes it different?
Still doesn't answer my question.
I would have to have the before reading to answer the question, Sarah. And
Still doesn't
I
answer
did-
my question.
I did answer the question.
No, you didn't. No, you
Everything
didn't.
else you say is non sequitur. And
Okay. The question I asked, I said, is how does that question pose to any other trivial question, and like in regards to intelligence?
It obviously the idea of Juliet is obviously something that
Juliet with a K.
yeah, it obviously deeply affects the modern psyche of a developing adolescent,
It doesn't.
and
That's the instrument that he plays is not
it's a
even the
pull
important part of
on
that.
I don't finish there.
on their reptilian brain to see if they can overcome such impulses and answer correctly as a human, or answer.
The important part of that passage is the fact that this man is playing
Genius.
his violin. It's a violin, even though he knows he's about to die, and he does end up dying, trampled to death, along with his violin. That's the important part of this passage. It could have been any instrument. It doesn't matter. Knowing that it was violin is a random piece of trivia that is not going to
All
impact
of
any
it
of
seems
these
like
students
random
in the
trivia.
rest
It's
of
just
their life.
like what
How
instrument?
likely would you guess how likely would you be to guess that it was the violin?
I would.
That's like asking what size boat did Moby Dick fall in?
Right?
How big of yeah?
Would it not be better to have a question asking him to analyze the importance of why Juliet is playing the violin?
Yeah, give an
Well,
explanation
but you
of
would
the
think
scenario or thought
Well,
process and the character, perhaps.
If I'm being
Not-
fair, honestly, and I'm not being stupid about it, you're just nitpicking a single question. The entire thing is
Yeah.
about playing catch-alls and doing mundane things to lull the brain into a false sense of security so it makes mistakes. You have to be alert. It tests on multiple things. And I do agree that
No,
it is
doesn't.
unfair for people like me that have really hard time sitting still. Like, I would finish exams.
I'd have to go stones.
Like, and I wish they
So,
had
like, my head does.
I wish they had my times. I used to time myself. The longest I ever took an exam was an hour. I always finished
Same,
in
honestly.
like 30 minutes. And these are like huge exams. Even ones where I'm writing in university, where these were like full, like you have to do 2 essays and 2 full questions. I'd be out of there in an hour. And people would look at me and be like, what the hell? And I'd get A's. Because like I just under pressure, my thoughts, they would find a way to actually sequentially form in my head in the correct manner that I could put it on paper in a way that was digestible to the teacher. And I couldn't do this in class because
My college tests were. Sorry, I thought you were finished. Go on.
No. I'll let you interrupt. Please interrupt.
I didn't mean to. I just my phone, my computer liked it, so I thought you were done. I genuinely thought you were done. So, but
Please continue.
should I go?
No.
Okay.
No, Andrew, you're welcome here.
When I went
This
to
is
college,
safe space.
my tests were mostly like food tests, except for like I had a few theory classes.
Mm-hmm.
So my tests would end up being like making a lunch dinner item with in certain bounds of like a food cost or what we had for available resources, and describing it and explaining why you chose it and how you got the best profile and whatnot out of it, or how it pairs with something. Sometimes my test would be on like food cost, so you get a recipe where you make an item, and then you'd have to find the cost of the whole recipe for how much it costs for this individual plate of spaghetti and meatballs or what the fuck ever, and then you'd have to make it because we'd all make enough for like our entire group, so we'd all get to eat at the end of the day.
That's fair.
We did like a nutrition class where we had to make like our test was to make a meal that you could freeze or process somehow and then remake again.
Okay.
So like boiled in a bag or frozen or
Yeah.
so it was a ready to eat meal essentially in HMR.
Okay.
And we had to like find out the nutritional facts. I had to do a soup test.
What are you trying to say? Like, what's the point? Like, okay.
When I went to college, my tests weren't the same as writing on paper or like.
Yes,
because
that
it was a
would
different type of course.
I find that it's hard to believe that if you went to like a culinary arts school that they make your tests about the culinary arts, but
No, I know.
I think I'll believe that because you went. Not just that, it just seemed like such a stretch. But now that you've confirmed that for me, I
thank you for your.
My final exam for foods in high school was.
I was trying to be serious about your point.
I know.
That wasn't.
Practical tests.
That wasn't
like,
overpriced.
Applicated
practical
tests
testing stuff, I am all
One
for
at a
that.
time, please.
You've got to have practical ways of evaluating people and not meaningless questions on a test, just because you feel like you have to give a test.
I stand by those meaningless questions because they got me through university and they got me through high school.
My favorite example of a meaningless question.
So yeah.
Was make a diorama. So I made a Hitler bust.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Why?
So John, I'm like
And
you.
I got a
do it all on
90%.
tests, but
Please no. We don't
John,
need
I'm like you that I do really well on tests, but I still think that tests are just meaningless a lot of the time. In things like math, where it's building up on something, yeah, a test is great. But in something like this, like an English test, like it's just pointless. There's no reason to memorize all these random little facts.
But it's about reading comprehension. Trust me.
It's not about reading comprehension.
I know. I was a TA. Like, I'll tell you, man. It's about reading comprehension.
See, John knows better more than you than Sarah.
I was lucky. I was in art-centered learning instead of traditional
He knows
means.
more about this than you do.
But I got a degree in English, and this is what I.
Did you now? So you obviously must know more.
It's
That's
the one
who
thing
does-
that I
who's in
know.
who is in the profession every day.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
Tell
you.
me more
I
about
will.
your very experienced opinion.
It's about like I was trying to say. It's about it's
I like
about reading
Sarah's like
comprehension.
screenshot. Like
It's about. It's not really about. It's about.
This time that's
understand-
over. I'm gonna take a screenshot.
It's about reading the material and understanding what the point of the violin is and what the point of the imagery is trying to symbolize. If it's pointing out a certain passage, it means you should reread it because it's trying to give off either emotion or a feel. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of people that read old literature and have no idea what like you throw Old Man at the Sea at anyone and they get bored within fucking 10 chapters because they're like, "Oh my god, it's just about guys sitting in a boat." But that's the point, is the imagery. Heart of Darkness is another one. Although it's extremely controversial, the entire thing is about imagery. And if you're not able to get through the imagery and understand what the references are, you'll never get through it. And you'll never understand the true meaning of the Heart of Darkness. The same as with In Paradise Lost. Like, you can tell me, "Oh my god, I know so much about Paradise Lost because I've read it," but if you don't understand who the Fates are or Greek mythology, or you don't understand how the old way of telling epics by praying to the Fates to guide your way, then you would miss the entire first book and not know what the fuck's going on, and just be misaligned by the entire idea of what they're referencing over and over and over, and who the demons are. And it's all about. And in high school, it seems even more stupid because they're pointing out small mundane features, but in reality, those are the building blocks to reading comprehension and into more advanced works. And I understand that most people look at it and say, "Oh, it's such a stupid idea. Oh, this one little piece from this line, and they have to remember if it's a fucking violin or if it's a fucking viola or what their mood was or like how the feel was." But I'll be fucking honest. There's a lot of fucking literature that gets swept under the rug because people just don't understand it.
Does everyone have to understand it?
I enjoy older literature, if I'm being honest.
Does
I enjoyed
everyone have to understand it, John? Why does everyone have to understand that?
Because
not everyone has to not everyone needs to have a super high reading comprehension level.
But that's the point of standardized testing, to see how much, because that's how we know.
Okay,
How
but
do we
John,
know if
these
we're good at
questions
math or
are
good at
not
English?
on standardized tests. This is not how the standardized tests work. The standardized test asks you to take the information and analyze it. This is simply taking the information and recalling it. It's a big difference.
But you have to start somewhere, right? You can't.
Well, when you're in grade 12, you should probably be getting ready for the test that you have in a month, not worrying about the stuff
This is also why I would never be a high school teacher, because like I've said, if I was a high school English teacher, man, I'd be the worst. I would be the most brutal teacher. All my tests would be essays. It'd all be essays.
I am totally fine with that.
That is completely fair, honestly.
I would way rather, instead of having a test where you sit down and you have an hour and a half to write it and you have to recall all these little bits and pieces from it, I would way rather give the kids an essay topic and have them write me a good essay on it and show that they actually understand it.
But you're
something that they actually want to talk about.
You're
like
asking
say,
people,
read a book that you want to read, and then.
But here's my problem with it. If you ask a high school kid, to do an essay, and they don't have the building blocks of reading comprehension, then how can you ask them to write a full essay for an exam? And especially an essay at the caliber that I would be expecting, or even to a lesser extent, like something that you'd be getting into your first years of university. Because the whole idea is you have to understand what it is the reference means and what it feels. But if you can't identify that originally because you haven't, you know how hard that is to teach, the idea of clauses and
I am very, very aware, yes.
Sentence structure.
I am very familiar with that.
So, like...
almost like I do it regularly.
John, do you know how to grill a burger every day?
Curl a burger?
I said grill.
Yes, I do.
That's probably because you're a cook, right?
I do. Yes, that's what I do for a job. Yes.
That's so weird.
I don't cook.
That's all I wanted to know. That's all I
know
wanted
how
to
to
cook.
burger.
That's cool, man. I wasn't asking about you though. That's cool.
I know you weren't.
It's almost.
That's all I wanted to know. That's all.
You know what's crazy though? I knew how to cook a burger before I was a cook.
I certainly hope so.
Staggering.
But do you
The
feel like
plot
you've gotten better at
thickens.
cooking burgers since? Or perhaps you've learned how to cook
John,
them more.
which one do you think feels like it was easier for you to learn? How to cook a burger or how to write an essay?
Write an essay.
That's good.
Really?
That's why you got an English major, right?
That is exactly why.
So the one thing I would point out is that sometimes with like classes, because I'm not sure with every school, like they have different levels of like learning, like applied, academic, or like there's like 10-1, 10-2, and 10-3. Right, so
in math there's -1, -2, -3,
So wait,
4.
what
In
class
English
did you
there's
take
-1,
in
-4.
university in Insanieac that taught you to be so passive aggressive? Is it a natural talent or?
it was probably because my chefs were dicks.
Yes, I see.
If I showed up late, one of the chefs would just tell you.
The old white jacket initiation.
Kind of. I got in arguments with chefs sometimes. It happens.
It does.
I had a chef yell at me because I ate food in a class when we were supposed to share it with the class, but then I asked it from another student that he said could have some. I don't know, and he gave it to me. Like I didn't steal it.
You
Or
stole it,
anything.
didn't you?
And he just lost his fucking mind on me. And I'm like, okay.
Goddamn stealer.
I think that what you mean is a thief.
You heard what I said. Football fans would know. All right. Well, it's approaching the
But
end.
I actually ended up being good friends with that chef later on. He was a big metalhead, and he was a country teacher.
I think we should wrap things up. It's about that time to hit the dusty trail.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
You're not gonna change my mind.
Yes, I am. One day.
No.
What about
Be
last
sure to
thoughts?
check out live stream soon. I'm going to be live streaming some video games soon. In the next,
Ooh,
like, couple
exciting.
weeks. So sure to check out my stream.
Insaniac.
People put some
With an
Yeah.
in odd place.
yeah. So I don't know. That's about.
And this has been, yeah. I mean, I don't know where Grease Goblin went, but Jeremy's still here.
Said he
I'm
went to
pretty
the
sure.
drink, I think.
But then we'll try to end it before he gets back. This has been Sarah Vike, Insaniac, Sir Jeremy, and the Great Grease Goblin
I was gonna say, I think your new title should be the Gross Goblin after our first start of the thing.
with
For John.
with me, and I am your host C4. Thank you always. Eventually, I will start putting up VODs on the channel on the it's the After Good YouTube channel. Eventually, those are still coming. Until then, just join the Faceless Legion and get the app, justlikeness.com. Remember, get the app. Get the app.
Very important.
Subscribe. Check out Insaniac.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you can check him out, or you could just, not and go to aftergood.com and subscribe there.
Wouldn't you like a private chef to
And
cook for you one day?
get the app.
Insaniac shall do that for you one day.
This isn't peer pressure,
Well, if you
just so we're
subscribe.
clear.
This is peer pressure. Don't do it.
No, it's not peer pressure.
Subscribe, and
This-
I will cook for you as a private chef. Try
Oh my.
That's a guarantee. To anyone who here, that's a guarantee. Anyone who subscribes, he will come to your house and cook as a private chef. This is a legally binding contract.
And it doesn't matter where you live.
It doesn't matter where you live. So, subscribers in Australia, please.
He's gonna have to find
Location,
his
check it to
time
the location, describe the location, and are you figuring that out another time?
No, yeah. We'll pick a winner every week.
Please look at details, conditions, and terms in the fine print below.
The conditions or terms is that you will pay for the entire trip and the food. This is a verbal contract made now.
Subscribe.
Yep, subscribe.
Prepare for the gaming show.
Get the app. Justlikeness.com.
The gaming show.
After good. Don't subscribe to that. Why would they waste their time with that?
Shut up. Shut your whore mouth.
And then the stream ends.
Goodness gracious.